I'd like to call this meeting to order on the 27th of October, 4:30 in the afternoon. In attendance, we have Mr. Ferrera, Mr. John, I can't pronounce your last name, never will be able to.
Sanazaro.
There you go, Sanazaro.
Easy, yeah.
Myself, Harold Schetzel. Out in the front, we have the airport manager and Mr. Borgard. Welcome to the meeting. So we do have a quorum. Do we sense any adjustments to the agenda?
None that I'm aware of.
Okay. And I'd like to review the minutes of the 25th and the 29th, 25th of August and the 29th of September. I take any corrections or omissions or errors that you see.
I'll move the 25th as recorded.
I have a motion to accept the 25th as shown. Take a second for that. I have a second. And a vote on the 25th of September. We have a unanimous vote there. Now, to continue with the minutes for September 29th. Do you have any errors or omissions or corrections? Hearing none, I would take a motion to approve those as well.
I'll make a motion to accept the September
And
12th.
a second. Thank you, Jim. John?
I'll second again.
We have a second and now a vote on the 20 minutes of the 29th. 100% participation in that. So let's move on to public to speak for any non-agenda items. Mark?
No.
Okay. Where at this point, Joe, would you want to discuss our current walk around?
Probably under number 7.
Okay, fine. Correspondence to be read into the record. Joe, that would be you. With
None.
hearing none, does anyone else have any correspondence? Okay. Any reports of the commission? Or from the commission? The fly-in, John?
Well, I see that's coming up on old business. Do you want to do it then?
All right.
We'll probably just a couple sentences away.
Reports from the airport manager.
Well, we just came from a walk around at the airport. We didn't do a lot of walking because it was raining. So we viewed the airfield from the SRE pilot's lounge. As you entered the building, you notice I did put a poster on the door that says check the radio frequency for AWAS. That'll give you the code to the door. Based on the report of the last meeting, there is a little bit of a scratch when you call the AWAS number, but when you use the radio on site, you can hear it clearly. And I've had other pilots tell me that too. So that is running. A couple of things that the commission pointed out when they were looking out the window. The cracking on the apron area will be part of the design project that's happening now, design only. And then you pointed out there's some other rough areas that you'd like to incorporate in that. So I'll make sure that our engineer is aware of that. We talked about the plane that's also on the agenda tonight, because we could see that through the window, so there'll be an update here when we get to that.
You want to reach out to Queen about moving that tug and those floats back?
It came up. Yes, I can do that.
And I can reach out to Mike about that 140. And if, I don't know, I guess we should wait a month on the Warrior to see what progress happens. You might reach out to the gentleman one more time and ask him if it's okay for us to move it.
Yep.
I mean, I think I have a couple of screw-in tie downs in my hangar we could use, earth screws.
Yeah.
And then I'll reach out to Mike about it coming up. That, Mike, that Mike very well, John.
I do, yeah.
Would you speak to him about that it probably should have stayed there all winter from a safety schedule?
I just called him on the way from the airport to here and he didn't pick up, so I did leave him a voicemail and we'll follow up on that.
Not that it shouldn't stay there, but it
Yeah.
should be secured and
The wings taken off.
correct if it's
Yeah.
gonna stay there.
Yeah.
Because he's got a plan. I'm not opposed to it. I just don't want to
Yeah.
see it get hurt more and us be responsible.
Yeah.
Is this a
I'll talk to him, see what his idea
Is this the Cherokee that's on the?
Well, there's a Cherokee and there's also a Cessna 140 up there that that landed on his top back in July. And it's still there.
That's still there, okay.
I think if we could talk about somehow in the next month, I'll be up there a little bit at the hangar to the end of the month. But getting all that stuff out of Buzz's way, I think would be a little bit easier on his everyday plan, huh?
Yes, he would appreciate that.
So. Yes. Okay.
Before we move on, I'd like to say, I think it's great that we go up there and try to meet at the airport. I'd like to see it like maybe once in the spring, you know.
Summer, fall, I mean, 3 times it's fair.
You know, even twice, spring and fall, maybe, whatever, you know, just so you see how they came out with from this, you know, the winter.
Yeah.
What's going on
It also gives us a better look at what we're looking at
Yeah,
as a group.
but so thank you for that.
Now, the other thing would be in your minutes, Joe, would be any necessary asphalt improvements that would impair an airplane taxiing. There's 2 of them around the 10-pack. I don't know that they are our town's responsibility, but at the same time, it could be a transient to taxi back out there, and then it would be our problem. So, I mean, if we're going to do a several $100,000 renovation, a few dollars spent on maintenance probably would be pretty wise. Agreed.
Mhm.
Just
Yep.
some of those drainage ditches and conduit ducts have lasted well, but they're starting to sell.
Mhm.
Not a big deal to grind and overlay those. I don't mean go down deep. I mean just right,
Yeah.
scratch it and pave them, huh? That said, air show, you're up.
Yeah, I got a few things about that, mostly questions. I don't know that it should be called an air show. I'm not really, in my mind, I'm not really thinking that it'd be an air show. Mostly because I haven't really considered contacting any performers. I mean, maybe we could find one, but a name for the event. What might you call it? Now, based upon what we're gonna have there, in my mind, and what I'm thinking is, I don't think it should be dependent on good weather. I think it should be able to go off regardless of weather. So even if we had an overcast day or windy day where people couldn't fly in, we could still have things there like people could bring their planes out and emergency vehicles, have like a touch a truck kind of thing. Maybe some cars, some people have some antique cars.
Like an air show, not an air show, a fly-in, which
Yeah.
could be, all that would require would be a blessing from the selectmen.
Right, and
Right, Joe?
that's, I think, what we're kind of gearing it towards. And if it were a fly-in, I'm thinking food trucks and things of that nature. So kind of when the logging museum does their get together, probably a lot of the same people. So I did reach out to Ron Haynes, and I got a list of the folks that usually do your craft booths and all of that stuff at the logging museum. And to have some people like they're doing that type of thing as well. So basically have it be a town spirit event.
And you could talk to Mark McGee down in Auburn. He just bought a DC-3. He's gonna do scenic rides with it
A DC-3, is it the one out of Greenville?
of Auburn.
Oh,
If he's got it going by then, I think you need a centerpiece for that type of a fly-in, but it's also great, in my opinion, to introduce the airport to people that have never seen it except to drive by.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Have it be a PR event.
If you have hamburgers and hot dogs and like a DC-3 to look at, walk around and goo and hot, it would be just a focal point of an event. Huh?
Yeah.
Just food for thought.
So that was my vision.
I'm glad that you're admitting that, because I was gonna say that we have we don't know exactly what we have for funds, but I think we should keep some 80% of the funds we have for a day when we can have an event that works after this trial run for an entertainer.
Yeah.
I would hate to think that we spent most of our budget on a fly-in when we, at some point, if this date could be considered with the Chamber of Commerce, a good date, and the logging museum or whatever, we could continue with the air show concept years to come.
Mhm.
It ran out of steam some 8 or 10 years ago, but it was on track to be very successful.
Yeah. So I think as the years go on, I wouldn't mind doing this on a
It
regular
takes
basis.
someone with your energy, not it just when Rebecca was here, she had some huge energy towards the airport for a while.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And when that fell off, so did it.
Yeah.
Because she held it all together. Bless you if you want to take on the responsibility.
Yeah, I'd be
Have
willing to do
I
that.
would just hope that if you needed a couple of grand, great, but if you needed the 19, it should be an entertainer. Anybody feel about the same as I do?
I think maybe if you're just starting the first time, you don't really even have an entertainer, maybe something very cheap.
And that's why I'm saying, but still, if it cost a couple of grand, great. But I don't think we should burn the budget down without an entertainer.
I think if we did a candy drop, that would be fine. It's the way the kids would.
Whatever, I'm supportive of anything like that. So,
That way the kids could go there and they'd see a plane, you know, it wouldn't be a demonstration plane, obviously, but it'd get the kids interested in a candy drop, something like that.
have fun with it.
Exactly. Now, let's see. I have reached out to some folks to help out, and Scott Keith was one of the first ones at the last meeting to said that he would help out. And I had spoken with Beth Haley Smith, and she said that she'd be willing to do something as well. Beth Haley.
It's the Furbish House.
Oh, yeah, it's okay.
So she was willing to assist in some manner as well. So I think that if we have a number of the familiar faces get involved in
Say have at it.
putting this together, I think it would be a great thing. So with that, Joe, if you could run this past the select board and see if they have a date in mind, that would be.
They wouldn't have a date in mind. You would have to have a date for them. And an entertainment permit, what they would issue right there, get green stamp it. You would need to have, speak to the chamber and the logging, sorry.
I was just gonna say, that's the thing, the chamber kind of keeps track of the calendar and the weekend.
It may go well with it,
All summer long.
and it might go well with another event.
You know, you've got, the Fourth of July stuff, you've got the logging festival, you have the concert up, you have the Shriners Parade, you know, all these things.
Yeah.
So you need to try to identify, with working with the chamber on a Saturday or Sunday or something where it wouldn't have too major
But it
conflict.
may go well with a smaller event. Mark, it might go well with a smaller event.
It may go well.
I mean, when you look at the concert,
The
did
chamber
not-
would be able to give you insight.
Concert weekend is a good one. You got a lot of people in town.
What's that?
Concert weekend is a good one. You've got a lot of people in town. There's some other opportunities. So I say have at it. Good luck with it.
I think the chamber is a good place to
Well, I
start.
think, John, as the way the town works, and I could be wrong, but you need to choose a date. They will ask you what it conflicts with. You'll say nothing. I spoke to that group already and the chamber. And if they see nothing wrong with it, they'll stamp it that night. So,
Yes, that is the appropriate way to approach it, would be to say, here's the date that we picked out, I've talked to all these folks.
Sure.
And then put in the event permit and.
And you'll have it. like that.
And I
There's a
would
whole,
say
there's a
too,
whole process for
if
that.
if you can get the DC three, you know, he might be restricted on his dates. He might always say, I can do it here or there, you know.
Who's that, Mark?
Whoever, what the DC three you're talking about? You know, so maybe they can.
I don't even know if the thing is flying yet. It flew into Auburn last week. And he's planning on doing skydiving and scenic rides with it. I don't know.
Where did this come from?
I have no, probably not far away if they ferried it in.
Is it tan or white?
Huh?
Is it a tan one or is it white?
I personally haven't seen it, but I believe it's white.
Okay.
Cause Larry's right, it is nice to have some kind of a centerpiece for, you know, even if it's not an air show, it's just,
So that's correct.
you know.
And when we flew my brother-in-law's DC-3 in here back in 1989.
Yeah.
That airport was a buzz.
All
What you
weekend.
might as well have to fly in that day and everybody came up.
Maybe even.
Right, I remember that weekend, yeah,
I
that's
mean,
true, yeah.
Maybe
get
an
Mark on
air rescue. maybe,
I have Mark.
you know,
Well, I'm thinking the Maine Forest Service,
for Maine Forest.
maybe on Light Flight will come in, yeah. You just have to, you know, obviously it depends on their availability.
DC-3 and the activity that brought.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, people were walking around that all day, every day for the 3 days it was here.
I can get the name of the,
Parking was set up and all of that.
So the what?
John, I can get you the name of the forestry people and I can get you the name of the Light Flight people.
I got the Life Flight folks, Josh, yeah.
But Maine Forest Service is a good one too, because they do short hauls for us.
Mark McGee is 207.
I can't remember, do we
207.
charge for vendors, like say somebody
We
wants to
did.
come and,
We did
we did, I thought we did.
312,
Huh?
312.
It was like $50. I think.
41 to
Do you guys
65.
charge for vendors coming to the forestry museum thing? Yeah.
Not much,
And it's
No, it's
marked
like $50.
slash DC.
50 bucks.
right,
I have not seen the airplane. Okay, but so when the air show is over, to discuss the continuation of the Cherokee on the ramp. It's,
I'm continuing to be in contact with the registered owner. Last contact I had with him, he was requesting logbook. He wanted to know if that was in the plane. I looked today, I couldn't see it. I did not enter the airplane, but I looked through.
so to take my thought back, don't say we want to move it, say we will be forced to move it at your expense. Put some fire in this guy to get it out of here.
Actually,
Huh?
do we own it because it's been sitting there too long?
Probably, but who wants it?
That
Well,
was-
the fire department may want to use it for training.
Tell me about this, speaking of fire department, what is the status and usefulness, and does that thing at the airport have water and stuff in it?
Yeah.
That's foam.
Really?
It's got water and foam in it.
Yeah, it's got foam and it's operational. It was at Brunswick this summer. They used it for something, and when they take it, they tune it up and go through it.
Yeah, they,
they send
And,
it out. Yeah. And we're free to use it. The FD is trained on it. It's available for our use.
And we are foaming, doesn't that have some PFAS long-term
Not the type that's in it.
I'm sorry.
Not the type of foam that is in that
Okay,
apparatus.
so there's some modern stuff in there.
Yeah, the older stuff's been phased out. So the new stuff is not the same. The stuff that's in that machine.
So it is like an instrument of in motion up there. It's
Yeah.
not just a relic to look
That
at.
responds when there's an issue up there. That's set up to respond.
So why don't we approach the Warrior as, sir, you're gonna have to get it out of there before the end of November.
That is my message. Yeah.
Instead of off, and then what we have to do with it after that is, we'll decide, but. Okay, new business. We have the air show taken care of. We got the Warriors taken care of. We got the asphalt being addressed. We got the project, which hopefully we're gonna be involved with this time before it goes out to bid, as to what it's gonna look like.
Yes.
I'll hold you to that.
Crack seal is out to bid.
No, but what the bid
Crack
perspective,
seals actually come back. You're talking about the design.
no, when we will actually be privy to what's about to go out for bid before it goes.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Sure.
Not common prior to your position. The next meeting date is going to be the end of November. Talk about nothing about, except that Warrior. So what are your thoughts?
The Monday before Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I think so.
Want to just skip Monday in November and see what December brings, if anything?
do you need us for anything?
I'm sorry.
I'm asking him if he needs us for anything.
I mean, you've got people going away for Thanksgiving. I don't know if anybody's made plans yet, but Monday is kind of like a long weekend of that weekend. I won't be
what are
here.
you gonna talk about?
The Thanksgiving meeting.
Well, I will say, if we don't do Thanksgiving, then this is gonna be Christmas week.
Because
Oh,
on the agenda, Joe has the next meeting's January 26th.
That's a recommendation. It's your decision.
oh, I love that idea.
Because it falls.
Other than a phone conference over the Warrior, which you and I can make,
Yeah, I can check in with you.
we can make a
Your
decision.
plan is to get that thing either out of there where it is, you know, or behind the hangar.
Correct.
You know, that's it's one of
And
those two.
John's gonna take care of the Cessna 140. He's gonna work on that.
Yeah, Mike's local. The owner of that's local. I don't think that.
No, I don't think he has any plans with banning it there. I don't know, he's just trying to decide to fix it or sell it, right?
That's good.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing.
Right, so-
Yeah,
But that does, I don't think it should be in its state there
yeah.
all winter.
It's in his best interest to secure it in some manner.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because historically, the airport commission wouldn't, after their October meeting, it would conflict with Thanksgiving, so they skipped that one. The one in December conflicted with Christmas, so they usually just went till January from October, unless there was something really important going on.
I would take a motion to have the next meeting in January at our regular Monday.
So moved.
So moved.
I have a so movement. Have a second on that,
One second.
and I'll vote in the full favor.
See you after the holidays.
And we
Happy
have
New Year.
no one
You
zooming,
didn't interfere with skiing. That's all right.
no one zooming today.
Nope.
Now, prior to the adjournment, is there any other pertinent information that we need to discuss prior to January?
I will continue to work on the hangar study. I know that's something that you folks have talked about. I know Eddie is still interested in hearing more about that. That's still a work in progress.
On that subject, does everyone still support my idea that if a new 8 or 10 pack were to go into in line with George's or my hangar, a little bit of setback is okay, but the next slot should be left vacant for now.
That's what we discussed.
I think that makes sense.
For another conventional hangout.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct, that's, or a
That's-
potential FBO someday.
that's correct.
So the 200-foot or 158 or whatever your number is. We're all in agreement that that should stay vacant for now,
I agree.
only because we can't read into the next 20 years as to what might be necessary there. And if the FAA or whatever ever wanted to participate in a community hangar, that's probably where it would want to be. Right?
I think the master plan shows 4 conventional hangars and then another set.
And I was gonna give that a double lot mark, so I would be right.
I think if you kept 1, that would be sufficient.
I'm saying it's a double, not a 100-footer, but 150, for instance.
Yeah.
Up to that power box.
Yeah.
In my opinion, so that we have a
Yeah.
nice spot that would be potential for a painter or a alternator guy or something that ever wanted to come here 20 years. A retired John that wants to spend $1 million at Greensley Airport to give him something to do. I mean, that is possible.
So yes, it is possible. But there's another thing that I wanted to mention. Speaking of Randy down in Waterville, I flew in there and I did notice that they took a little bit of a different approach to hangar build outs. Did you talk to Randy at all about that?
Not about hangars, no, but I can.
Well, I can tell you what he's working on right now. I didn't speak with him directly. I talked with one of his guys and I took a picture of this poster that they had. And I like the track that we're on, by the way, with an 8 or 10 pack, something like that. But just to put this out there, it's an interesting alternative, the way Randy has proposed his build outs to go. What he has is sections of his airport in a grid, and the town has built out taxiways leading to these sections. It is up to the individual to rent one of these pieces of the grid for $1,000 per year, and they build whatever they want, usually pole barns or metal buildings or something like that, on this parcel that they
Well,
lease.
We can consider that sometime.
Yeah.
But we have made a conscious effort for the last 30 years to try to keep the airport not a bunch of boxes on the hillside.
Mhm.
Something with some consistency.
Yep, yep.
And for that, it has a price. And maybe you're correct, because it does carry a much larger price tag to keep that consistency. But do we want little boxes on the hillside? I don't know that we do. You know, the guy to build a 40 by 40 A-frame, like you said, or the guy to build a pole barn. I mean, you look at Greenville, it's not pretty.
Yeah.
And Rangeley
yeah.
wasn't previously.
Well, no, because that was done at the turn of the century, Mark. I mean,
Right.
But I can
the
tell
old
you
way.
that Randy's,
You know, and
That was a pole barn.
that
Randy's-
was the decision, you know, in the leases are written that, you know, there's building codes, there's color things, that, you know, there's siding requirements and all of
but
that.
we're also discouraging it. We're discouraging growth that way.
To keep.
But if we're going to go that way, I think we need to have a spec on that building.
so I remember what you're talking about, because I remember Steve's hangar that was up close to the runway. I remember that, and I remember how cattywampus it was. But it's worth a trip down to Waterville if you ever have a chance to go down there. It has consistency in design. It is, it's not ugly. Just saying, that's what he's doing down there. Maybe on,
Is he inviting additional people?
yeah, currently they're soliciting people to build on these parcels.
So
So
Waterville or
Waterville.
Parkland?
Waterville.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Well-
it's not ugly. In fact, you know what I'll do is I want to go down there and do a video on it. I did a video on Twin Mountain Airport that I can share with the group. Twin Mountain has a very nice little airport. I videoed it. I put it up on my YouTube channel. And if you haven't flown into Twin Mountain in a while, it's a nice little airfield that has fuel self-service that is very easy to work. It has a little FBO area that's warm and comfortable. Tie downs is complete with ropes and everything. Preheat, you can call someone up and get a preheat. There's an SUV that you can rent thanks to a neighboring car dealer or
I
something
went to
like that.
Shingle last 2 weeks ago, for the first time in quite a while.
Yeah.
Their hangars are in line, but they look like sloppy joes. You know, there's no consistency to the front of them.
I flew into Sugarloaf a lot when we were shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I know what you're saying.
They are in line, I'll give them that.
Yeah. But Twin Mountain is what I'm talking about. They've got a really nice setup over there, and they do have the individual hangars.
Let us look, let us take a look, not interrupt you, not, it's going all day.
Yeah.
Let's get to see what Ed comes up with, price structure
Oh, yeah.
and participants.
Yeah.
And if that's out of the question, maybe we consider another alternative. But I do believe as long as I'm in this chair, it's gotta be aesthetically correct for the community.
Question regarding future build outs. I have read the master plan. And I did see that there's essentially 3 different ways to go with future build outs. And we are working on one of them, which is the 8 or 10 pack over there on the other side of yours. But one thing that I was thinking about that was never really entertained, and maybe there's a reason for it, it could be the scope of the runway in the ILS area, it's the precision approach area, is what is preventing us from building out something like, say, these smaller box hangars
Down below the fuel tank,
over by the AWAS?
on the other side of the field.
Yeah,
I can only tell you, there was something. The FAA did not allow us to do something over there. Oh, I'm wrong. The FAA did not allow, the town did not allow us. Steve and I tried to buy that whole strip over there by Joe Cananico there. What is his name? He died. Joe Rock, what's his name? Randall Ross.
Where the old head.
Because we were having such a hard time with the
So,
town
and-
30 years ago. But they would not allow us through the fence operation. We're having such a hard time with hangar build out 30 years ago. We just wanted to buy that strip of land over there, build a whole bunch of hangars over there and taxi up to the runway on our own property. But the town wouldn't allow the
And-
concept.
the reason for it was,
Allow what they call a through the fence operation.
why wouldn't they allow it through the
Oh.
fence?
Feds and the town both discouraged it, as I remember, right?
The FAA is probably worried about
Right, right.
runway
They
incursion.
did, they ended up wanting everything on the right-hand side.
Now, that doesn't mean you couldn't down below the fuel tank and headed east. Maybe you could have, I haven't looked up there, but if you had the BRL, building restriction line satisfied, maybe you could do a different type of construction in a string away from the big box hangars. Because the 10 pack is in line with the string, but it's not in keeping with the dimensions. So if you wanted 10 single hangars, take a look up there, bring it to the engineer and see if it fits in the master plan. But I think we should keep those big lots for big lots. That's my opinion. Don't have much of it there. And the topography works for the next 50 years.
Yeah.
That's the ground, huh?
Hmm.
But that doesn't mean that 10 40 by 45 Quonset, not Quonset, stick frame, single airplane hangars might work well up there in some location, huh? I mean, I haven't thought about, you know what I mean, like behind where the cars are parked.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, you could, you could taxi.
As long as you're outside of the BRL. Right?
I don't think you are, because that's in Mitchell's hangar had to be removed.
Yes, but I'm
But that
talking,
was only by feet over,
it
that
was only
by-
5 feet. If you backed up 40, it could have changed it.
Yeah, that was only a few feet.
It could have changed it. I don't know. I'm only saying the BRL, if you drew a line, Joe, just put you in perspective.
Mhm.
If you put a string in the center of that runway, okay, and you brought it up to 1,000 feet out, go all the way up to 1,000 feet above the ground level. There cannot be any obstruction in that line. And I think it's 1,000 feet, Mark, am I correct?
Yeah, I don't remember, there was a degree.
You know what I mean? There's an angle, Joe, let's just say, the string is at an angle,
Edson's hangar, was Edson's hangar too tall?
too tall by 5 feet in that
Okay,
line.
that's what I thought. So it was the
And
height, it
would've-
wasn't the
would've
position
worked
lateral.
With an obstruction line. But Joe Bessie owned it at the time and he got mad toward it. He wasn't gonna put a light on it, so. So, but if you put a string in the center line of the runway and you went out however many feet. You follow me?
I do.
And you drew that and you can anchor that string out there, anything inside of that line cannot happen. And it's called the BRL.
It had a light on
What's
it.
that?
It had a light on it. It just never got turned on.
You know, but remember remember the slope of it, Carol?
Oh, yeah, I remember. Oh, yeah.
No, do you know what the slope is? I don't know what the slope.
No, I think it is. I think you're right.
You know what I
It
mean?
was only, the other one was only off by a few
I think
feet.
it's 7%.
And or 1,000 feet or whatever it is. So, so you can do whatever you want up there as long as you're outside of that line. Makes sense. So that if someone has to go miss
Yeah, I get it, yeah.
or get off center line when they're landing or whatever, it's virtually impossible for them to have penetration with a building. Okay, I would take a motion.
Can I ask one final question?
Yeah.
Did we ever talk about the airport manager position, what we're gonna do with that? Like, no disrespect again, but try to have a dedicated airport
I
manager.
know I think happened, but Joe can speak on that.
So, I've got to refresh my memory. We got a little bit more money in the budget. It doubled, I think, the stipend doubled.
No, we asked for 15, you got 9, right?
7 or 8. something
Whatever,
like
okay.
I would like, here's what I would like to do. I don't know if I've shared this publicly anywhere yet, but I'll answer it because you asked. One of the things that I'm going to talk about budget cycle this year is bringing back the Public Works, Public Services Director. I would like that position to be. Somebody that's got public work experience.
You don't have a public works director now.
Haven't had one for 3 years or so.
You mean for any projects happening around, there's no supervisor for them?
Well, I've been handling the high level oversight of that.
So to answer your question, I believe Joe got an additional stipend to be the airport manager. I think your request back a year ago was to maybe find a retiree that had some airport knowledge that might be willing to do it. And from what I understand, the selectmen decided in their infinite wisdom, they would rather raise less money and stipend Joe to be the airport manager. I could be wrong about that, but that's what I think happened.
Well, that's partially true. I have the leeway, if I wanted to hire somebody now, I could. But looking ahead, I think it makes sense to me to make that person, if I can get that through the budget process. Now, that doesn't work.
Oh, so you'd like to take that 10 grand or whatever grand it is and put it towards the public works director?
Yes,
Have the public works director be the airport manager?
and then I could be the deputy and do training and so forth.
What else would this guy have on his plate? Parks,
General oversight of, parks, highway, wastewater, transfer station, and special projects, really, that's what's taking a lot of effort on my end. A lot of
you
construction
think
projects.
one guy,
That's where you started.
I mean, I know how to do it.
no, but you think one guy could handle all these loose ends?
One person, yes, it's a lot, but there are now, the way we're set up now, we have supervisors in each of those groups that would report through the director.
And they report to you or they report to me? They would enhance report to this guy
Person, man or woman.
and that guy would report to you.
Yes. So that's kind of what I'm envisioning. Then they would have closer connection to, things that needed to happen up there, and they would have more time and.
So if we had a problem with the airport, as a airport group, we would go to him
He or she, yes, that person.
or
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Whoever them is.
That's probably. That's my thought at this point.
How many
As caveat to that, this commission, I know you would like somebody with experience and I totally respect that and I agree with that. I would like to have someone with experience that reported to me on. But the commission, this meeting tonight, you could get anybody with any management experience to work with you. You know everything about the airport. Like you've helped me learn, you could help anybody that's got the initiative and the time, be an effective airport manager. Now, we all would like to have somebody that's experienced at that.
Yeah, I think Jim's thought was a retiree, that the $8,000 or $10,000 a year would have been a good supplement to his income, and he could have took it very serious.
And the reality is, if my plan, which is an infant plan right now, like I haven't shared it with the board or the budget committee or anything. If that doesn't work, then that's an excellent plan B. I right now have the latitude to hire somebody.
How many,
I should say, all right, you're gonna.
question for you, and you probably don't know this off the top of your head, but how many different stipends are within this community right now that could fund that person?
No,
What is there?
I think it's just this one airport.
Yeah, I don't think that.
You don't have a,
There is a road commissioner stipend, but I am not proposing that change at this point.
what's the other stipend you said?
Road commissioner,
Road commissioner?
but
Huh.
that is not proposing that.
No, I was just, not that I care, I was just asking if there was enough to fund this guy, but there isn't. So this would be
No.
a new position, new money.
Well, it's a mothball position or a back burner position. It did exist 3 years ago.
But you know, if you had already 50,000 stipends out there, then it wouldn't be that far away.
Don't have that much, but you do have 7 or 8, you know. So,
Okay, well, that answers that question, Jim. Whether you liked it or not, I'm not
No,
sure.
it was good. It was, just keep the conversation going,
we should keep it going. We should keep it going. It interests me, but with the amount of material that your town manager has to deal with day to day, it's probably not a good fit. And I've said that consistently.
I know,
all
yeah.
along.
Right.
Not that I don't like it, I really like working. I have to deal with so many things day to day that I don't know that I'm long-term the right person for it.
Right. So maybe over the winter, if you come up with, whether you think you're gonna go that way or not.
I am going to propose that, and it's gonna be a matter of whether the appointed and elected folks decide that makes it into the budget.
Okay.
That'll be their prerogative, and then if it doesn't, then we'll go back to plan B, and then maybe folks can help me, move with it.
This was a very educational 35-minute meeting. I wish we could have as much.
And would people bid on that job that you're proposing, or is that like you assign that to somebody else in one of the departments?
It would be a competitive hiring process. If there was
bid on
somebody,
it, but you would apply for it.
if there was somebody internally that were interested, I certainly would encourage them to interview. I haven't heard yet of anyone who is interested. I've poked around. They may change their mind.
This has been a very educational meeting. I want to thank you all for coming this evening. From starting us at the airport at 4 o'clock to now 5 minutes after 5, and we have wrapped her up till January. Have a good New Year's, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year.
I'll make a motion.
Have a
Seconded.
good New Year's.
No.
You got it. Have it. Now adjourned. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Larry.